Hi, good morning. Nice to meet you. My name is Emily, and today I'm going to interview about your working area.
Hi. Good morning. Not good morning. It's good afternoon.
She said good morning.
Good morning here. Good afternoon over
But
there.
she said good morning.
My name is John. Last name is Shu. 53. I work in the engineering industry, dealing with AEC type of building project. I have close to 30 plus years of experience in the American workforce. So hopefully I could share some interesting insight into the work environment.
Well, thank you, Uncle John. And so now I will straight forward to our interview section. So we have two dimensions. The first one is I will ask you about high or low context communication. So the first question is, based on your experience, would you describe your workplace in the United States as high context or low context?
That's a very interesting question. In my experience, the workforce has been a very low context type of working environment. Everything is all open communication with everybody. So they usually expect some deadlines. They write everything out. Everything is all explained and open book to all the co-worker and colleagues. So there is no guessing anywhere. So it's very direct and low context.
Now I know. And the next question is, when working in the United States, do your colleagues usually express their opinions directly or are they more indirect? Can you give an example?
Most of the colleagues here, they're very direct. The reason why is they don't want any assumptions. And assumptions start with the A, if you take ASS, what happened is if you assume something, there's a chance of things getting misunderstood, interpreted wrong. Example, like if I do a lot of proposals, right? So if in a proposal they think that it's not the right way of doing things, they will actually voice their opinion and say, hey, this budget here is probably not the right approach to certain things. And they will explain why they think that that's the reason. And then go away from there, then we take it and then we discuss.
So they are willing to discuss with each other and in a polite way, right?
Yeah, and then, these things all depending on the project manager, right? But in general, the companies value opinions.
And the next question is, when someone disagrees with your idea, do they say it openly? Like, how do they usually express if they disagree?
Yeah, but just like similar to the question number 2, like we have a meeting and then disagree. Even with either one or with a group of people, they always open up to their belief and their understanding. But they always say something. They're like, I don't think this is probably the right path to go. But they're very open with very professional. They don't just say, that thing stinks, like that. But it's more like a professional communication between the whole team. And it's a culture of the company that you're working in. I know a few companies I've been to where the employees are not allowed to say anything. But in my experience, my way of management is that I want everybody's opinion. That's the best way to come up with the best result.
Do they really say it out like how they think about this and
Oh, yeah. The culture of my company is we allow them to express their feelings and open up. But majority of the companies, it depending on the company, but majority of the company, I would say, they probably be similar. They're similar like that. You could voice your opinion, but you voice your opinion in a professional way, not to look down on other person and say, hey, this thing stinks. That stinks, like that. They're more professional.
so how was the relationship between you and your colleagues, like in daily, like while you're working together?
I would say like a friend. That's probably the best way to come up with a solution and solve problems, as a team. And that's how a lot of companies here does it, because a manager delegate a task and they expect something coming back. And if you don't have a clear, open communication, things might get assumed, and then things will be wrong. So it ties in with all the questions that you raised right now. It just keep on building layers, and that's probably the best way to do it, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's true. So what do you think Americans rely less on reading non-verbal cues or hidden meanings at work? Like why or why not?
Americans, I would say, based on my observation, right? In Asia, they seem to be very nonverbal. They don't talk as much. They go by expressions and the actions of a person, posture. In U.S., it's less nonverbal. They communicate. They go through by sharing their ideas, sharing their beliefs. Instead of, like it goes back again to the assumption, right? They don't want people to assume and misunderstood what they are trying to say. So that way they don't have interpretations in the wrong direction. So I say Americans use less nonverbal verbal cues, basically.
Do they tell you in really details or just?
Okay. Yeah. Well, it all depends on the person, right? Some people are willing to give you like a really detailed, opinions. Some are like a general, idea. Hey, I don't think this is good, but I'll get back to you. Right? So, all depends. But in general, they really express what they want to do. Like, okay, I don't like this I don't like the color. I don't like this, the way that this is put together. This is what I think it should be. They always were like, oh, this is maybe this way is better. So you hear a lot of options for every, that's why, in a team environment, you have a lot of people. You get a lot of opinions and a lot of methods of doing things. And then from there, then as a duty of a project manager, then you absorb all that ideas and then combine it to pick the best one.
I see. So, do you ever feel uncomfortable if someone talk to you directly or straightforward communication in the U.S. workplace? Can you describe a situation?
No, never. Maybe because of the education I got. I went to school for architecture, and we do a lot of presentations since we were in the first year of school. So we were in front of 50 people, 60 people, no problem. It's like being trained and brainwashed. So, but I could see that with some people, they might be very, very uncomfortable because they don't want to hear bad feedback, and they get worried. They sit up there like, oh, they'll freeze up. But having like an open dialogue and communication with people is the best way to basically work things out. So uncomfortable, direct communication, not really. As long as you do it professionally.
Can you give an example on how they do the comment on like how you say like the presentation?
Presentation. I deal with a lot of like design, right? Designing things, right? So you go up there and say, oh yeah, this box over here has to be over here, and then the other box is over there, and then they go like, no, I think it should be over there, and then it's over there, and you like, okay, after I worked on this for half a year, now you want to change it, okay? Some people can take it as like, hey, you yelling at me, right? And some people say, oh, okay, let me think about it, let me redesign it, maybe have a compromise between his idea and my idea. And that's where maybe say, okay, let's have a meeting afterwards to go through more detail, more professional. Yeah. And then basically not to have a conflict during the meeting with everybody. Have a more separate side meeting.
So
Yeah.
what if like you both have arguments, like the conflict, but you still need to work together like as a group project or something?
Oh, that's where you have to have a one-on-one communication after the meeting and say, hey, let's work it out, because you guys at the end, your colleague is basically your partner, right? So you cannot continue that conflict, because it will screw up your working environment. And we all believe in opinion, right? It's open. Companies are open, communication. There is no restriction. You cannot tell. In America, it's kind of like hard to say, oh, you're not allowed to say this, you're not allowed to say that. It's like a freedom, right? You could say whatever you want, but in a professional way. So to deal with that, you would just have to have a one-on-one, maybe like a breakout, and then just have like a calm, professional discussion.
Understand. Okay.
I know that in Asia it's so different, right? Asia is more like, hey, I'm the leader, you are my supporter, right?
Yeah.
Whatever I say, you gotta follow. So I don't believe in that. Yeah.
Yeah. In Asia, I think like we don't give much comment to our leader. Like,
Yeah.
if they ask us to do this, then 1 is 1, 2 is 2. Like we don't give too much comment, because like
Yeah. You gotta follow the leader. That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Okay, it's interesting. So let's proceed to the next part. So for the next part is power distance. So for power distance, how would you describe the power distance in your workplace in the United States? Would you say it's high or low, and why?